先生、こんにちは。
はい、こんにちは。はい。Thank you for booking the trial. ありがとう
The
ござい
pleasure
ま
is mine.
す。
So you have a background in linguistics.
Oh, yes, yeah. I studied linguistics at the University of London, and then also the pedagogy, language teaching as well. The course was specializing the Japanese teaching, as a foreign language.
何でしたっけ？日本語を外国語、
はい。
何で
と
したっけ？
して、
外国語として教えることを勉強した。
そうです。exactly.
ああ、
はい、その通りです。
ちょっ
はい。
と長すぎ。日本語を外国語として勉強、
はい。
教えて
はい。
勉強した。
教える。I think the first one was perfectly fine.
Okay. I had to say it second time so I could make a mistake.
うん
I
外国
see.
語を、はい、
Mhm.
外国語として教えることを勉強しました。
Teaching Japanese as a second language. So
は
much
い。
easier in English.
そうですね。はい。
The reason why Japanese people don't speak English well is because why?
Well, the way they were taught is heavily focusing on reading and writing, but if they are stimulated a bit and they'll start talking, and also actually their mindset is really no help because they're really worried about, being perfect or not making a mistake.
Really?
So
You
a
think
lot,
so?
they're very nervous when somebody talks to them in English. They're very nervous. If I say that, is it gonna make sense, or my pronunciation they might not understand, and all sorts of things go around in their heads. So that actually it doesn't help.
But the number one reason why Japanese people don't speak English well is because there is too much focus on reading and writing. In your opinion?
Yeah, it's huge. Okay, of course, it's not the 100%, reason, but largely, to a large extent, because I realized that the young people, teenagers, they tend to be more sort of fluent in a sense. But the older people, actually, when they actually write very well.
You think so?
Mm,
Because
yeah, but
I don't think so. I don't think that's actually true. Have you tested
mhm.
that? Have you
Oh
tested
yes, I do.
people's writing?
Yeah. Yes, yeah, because I do the proofreading, English proofreading job as well.
No.
So
I understand. I understand, but you see the word. So if we use the word fluent, you know very well
Mhm.
that the word fluent is not only used to describe speaking, but is also used to describe reading and writing.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well, when I said actually fluent, I was only referring to actually speaking.
But even the word good at, it doesn't matter
Mm.
which adjective you use to describe. What I'm trying to say is whatever adjective you use, the definition you have of that adjective should be uniform across all three skills: reading, writing, and listening, and speaking.
Mhm.
What I'm trying to say is that it's not possible to be good at writing but bad at speaking.
I would say it's not activated when it comes to the people that are not good at speaking, but quite good at writing and reading. Usually the general sort of consensus, in the language teaching field, it's not activated. And the reason why it's not activated well is their mindset, their brain, and their feeling stops, or lack of practice and a lack of opportunity, all sorts of things. So I would say it's not activated. That's why they're not fluent in one actually field, but fluent in other fields. I would
But
say it's just my opinion. So of course, other people might think differently. Mhm.
your opinion that people no, to me this is extremely important. because this is about, how to say, this is about teaching methodology. This is about learning, and I want to improve my Japanese.
Yes.
And when you say that people are good at, whatever word you want to use, good at writing but not good at speaking,
Yeah.
to me it's like saying people are good at running full marathon but bad at writing half a marathon.
It actually requires a bit different skills.
I think the mistake people make is you don't factor in time. When you say that people are good at writing, you allow for time.
Yes, yeah.
So that's my point. That's my point. You are not applying the same definition of good at across all other skills. This is my point. When you say that people are good at writing or fluent in writing, you should apply the same definition to reading and speaking. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Okay, yeah, I get it, yeah.
So it's not possible to be good at writing means whatever your definition is, meaning you are able to write quickly, smoothly, accurately, but be bad at speaking.
It can happen because, the people are not given time to think about and look through, when they speak, because it has to be spontaneous in a lot of situations. So when they write, they take time.
So, but okay, that's my point. They're not good at writing. This is my point. They are slow at writing. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. I said good because I'm not sorry. Maybe if you think I'm confused, I'm sorry because I didn't deliver maybe my message very, clearly because I was talking to you sort of in a casual, because this is not the language classroom.
Sure.
I was just
But this is important about the teaching philosophy. That's what I wanted to establish this point.
Yeah, because because I was, if I was talking to lecturer in a language linguistic university classroom, but I was just sort of casually speaking and just talking about what I think. So if I don't deliver my message clearly, and if you thought I was not very clear about what I was talking about, so sorry, maybe I didn't really articulate clearly. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. So how is your teaching different from, considering your background, the way you teach Japanese, how does it differ from I don't know, the standard way of teaching? That's what I booked your lesson. How does it differ if I were to take your lessons in the future? What is different?
The standard teaching, actually there are a few different ways to teach. The standard one in Japan is direct method. Because they have a lot of different people from different countries all over the world. One classroom tend to have, for example, Thai people or Vietnamese people, Chinese people, Australian, so they don't use English to teach because some people understand and others struggle. So they use Japanese even to complete beginner. And they use a lot of the pictures and drawings and, the photos. And they try to make them understand Japanese in Japanese. But of course, that's one method which is commonly used in Japan. But I use non-direct methods. I think it's more efficient if people understand English well. So I sort of start. It depends, their learning backgrounds. But if they are complete beginner, I start with the context-based, textbooks like Japanese for Busy People. I don't know if you have heard of.
No, not really.
The Japanese for Busy People is one textbook. It's context-based, And a lot of the textbooks are context-based. Context-based means you are actually given the situation. For example, you introduce yourself to other people, or you go shopping.
Situational-based approach.
Context-based, situational-based.
Context situational-based.
Yeah.
This is the Eikaiwa style in Japan, basically. But for English,
but so sort of Japanese version.
But for Japanese, I understand.
Yeah. And then,
is this an effective way with the situational approach? Because there are endless situations.
Yes, of course, it's structured in a way that the learners can pick up from basic grammars to more complex grammars. The first one, for example, something wa something desu.
So the focus is grammar.
Sort of, yes, focus is grammar, but at the same time, the context as well, because the language is used in a context. It's not separated from context because it's not a programming language. So it's easier for learners to grasp how a language and the grammatical structure is used in certain context, and also easier to memorize or remember. That's why a lot of textbooks are situation and context based, but it's structured in a way that they can learn from the simple ones to the complicated one. So that's why the first the section, for example, is introducing yourself. Like, I am, 私は日本人です。あなたの名前は何ですか?
Yeah, this is the Eikaiwa, I see. So you mean, when you see from simple to more complex, you mean grammar-wise?
Grammar-wise, yeah, and it's sort of entangled in, the situations and context.
This is like, I don't know, I've read somewhere like prefabricated conversations, basically. Situational dialogues.
Yes, controlled. Yes, it's controlled.
And you think this is the most effective way, like a prefab conversations? Kind of memorizing prefabricated conversations?
It's not set phrases. It can actually be more flexible. That's why it's in the context. And then after that, the learners actually can use the structures they learn in their own situation, in their own context. Like, 私は日本人です。And if they're Thai people, 私はタイ人です。私の家族は blah, blah, blah.
Set phrases, yes. Common phrases. Set
common
phrases.
Yeah. But it's not like travel Japanese. So it's not like, oh, you use this, so you repeat that. It's not like that.
Mm-hmm. Japanese for busy people.
Yeah, so travel. Maybe I can show you if I can, share the screen.
Oh, I'll look it up. It's okay. I'll look it up. Japanese for busy people. But I'm very familiar with this type of lessons from the Eikaiwa industry.
Yeah. So it's not completely. It is grammar based, but it's in the city. Try to put the grammatical structures and the grammatical studies in the context, in situation, because the language can't be separated from the human interactions, so it has to be sort of understood in a context, in a sense. That's why.
And you call this context-based learning, not situational.
You can call
one.
But it's just the sort of technical words that we use.
Got it.
Yeah, so it's not really it's just a technical word. Got it. Yes, maybe I'm trying to share the screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, can you say
searching for lost items? I see. Yeah, I understand. These are situational dialogues. Yeah.
Yes, and the highlighted part is the focused grammatical
I understand.
thing. So, for example, 白くて大きい紙袋, the first highlighted part here.
Yes.
白くて大きい紙袋で. So this section is about connecting two sentences, and you use de. That's the focus here. And then the second highlighted part, something 取りに行きます.
Yeah, I understand. So a dialogue around grammar structure, basically.
Yes, yeah. And then move on to
vocabulary and practice.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
I see.
Yeah, and then of course, that's the sort of controlled situation. However, you can actually use the structure, learners can use the structure they learned in their own way, context. This is just the practice so that they can actually get used to, how it works. Then that's the grammatical explanation. And then that's another one. 取りに行きます。The second, the focus structure. And then that's just a practice. So learners can get used to the forms.
When you say practice, you mean fill in the blank, kind of a role play.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So usually when I teach, usually I'll ask, the people to do maybe later because it's a sort of waste of time because they can do on their own.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I do during the class is I ask the questions, or I ask the learners to ask me the question. Like Yuki-san, for example, I ask them to ask something like, Yuki-san, 週末に何をしますか? And then I answer, 私は映画を見に行きます。For example.
I see.
わかりました。では、あなたは週末に何をしますか? And then I expect them to use the words.
So when this is like talking about future plans, for example.
Yeah, 食べに行きます。For example, this is future plans. So they can actually use this structure に行きます。in their own sort of context, their future plan, next holiday or next weekend or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's then they move on from.
So from your experience, this is the most effective way to learn the language.
I wouldn't say this is the
one of the most. Okay.
One of the, yes. And of course, some people, because everybody is different, just like, diet, some people think this diet is better than the other, so everybody is different. But I find a lot of adults feel this way is more effective rather than, just, teachers showing a lot of photos and pictures. And,
yes, I see.
Teaching.
Thank you. I got it. I see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I see.
That's the text.
Yeah.
And a different one. This is Japanese for busy people, and there's another type of materials like this one. This is another context-based textbook. It is data. So it's the same.
Okay, let's recap what we just witnessed. We have a person who has reached a very high level of proficiency in a foreign language. And judging by her accent, we can conclude that she did not learn it as a child. And so she has experience mastering a foreign language as an adult. That's one. 2. She majored in linguistics at University of London and also has a degree in pedagogy, specializing in teaching Japanese as a foreign language. And her best recommendation is this nonsense called Japanese for busy people. On top of all that, she perpetuates 4 of the most pernicious myths about language learning. 1. People are good at reading, but not good at speaking. 2. People are good at writing, but not good at speaking. 3. People, and Japanese people in particular, are shy and afraid of making mistakes. That's why they are not good at speaking. 4. Everybody is different. People differ in how they learn foreign languages. And the last takeaway is that this was supposed to be a Japanese lesson, but 99.9% of the lesson was in English. Thank you very much, and let me think about it, and I'll get back to you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So, 日本は夜ですか？
今夜、はい、今7時半。
はい。では、have a good evening.
You too. You have a good day. Have a good day.
はい、ありがとうございます。
You have one life. Don't waste it.